Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk Nation. I'm your man, Rod Levin. Sitting right next to me is none other than the General Attorney Greg Jackson.
Once again, it's on, Brother Love. Hey, you know how we get this thing started every week, man. How did weekend go this past weekend?
It was excellent, Greg. I tell you, man, got no complaints. But here's the interesting thing.
Yep.
I observed the celebration of Independence Day,
Okay.
but I did it very, very quietly.
All right.
But
Nothing wrong with that.
it was nothing wrong with it. But Greg, this is the first time, man, in years that I could sit back and do it quietly, man, and my wife and my kids, they got up and they went out and went watched some of the fireworks, celebrated with family, and the house was actually quiet.
You had a tranquil Independence Day.
Hey, me and the dog.
You and the dog. Hey, but now Altamont Springs.
I got to give it up. I got to give it up.
They did their Red Hot and Boom on the 3rd.
Yeah,
As opposed to on the 4th of
because
July.
because what did they do? They forecast the weather, but you know what, Greg? Got to give a lot of credit to Altamont Springs because they've been doing this for how many years now?
Yeah, I can't even count. Yeah, it's been a lot.
The
Red Hot and Boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Red Hot Boom.
Yeah.
But Greg, it also comes down to leadership and man, little known, and I can't say little known, but the city manager with the city of Altamont Springs, Frank Marks. Greg, this guy has been leading the city, man. I don't know, man, if it's been 20 years. I don't know exactly, but when you look at Red Hot and Boom, when you look at the growth of the city of Altamont Springs, when you look at its progression, Greg, it leads back to solid leadership. And man, Frank has been doing it, man. And Frank, hats off to you, man.
Is he listening?
I don't know if he's listening,
Is
but
he gonna listen?
well, we're gonna make sure he.
You need to listen because my office, as well as your office, is in Altamont Springs, and so I appreciate the growth and everything like that. The city is well run, and I can say that I don't live in Altamont Springs, but I most certainly conduct business out of Altamont Springs. So that's for Brother Mark.
Yeah,
Let him
man.
know that he has two individuals with businesses situated in the great city of Altamont Springs.
Altamont Springs, you're right. What about you, man? What did you do?
So the missus actually had me up at 6 o'clock in the morning because she was actually as a part of Advent Health giving the rah-rah speech for the runners to get started for the watermelon run in Winter Park.
Watermelon run?
At approximately 7:30 a.m., I and approximately 13,000 of my closest new friends ran a 5K through the city of Winter Park on Independence Day.
Great. What? It's called a watermelon run?
The watermelon run. So now listen, the watermelon run I know has been around for a number of years because when I first started getting into running, before I went back into the Navy Reserves back in 2000, I had to get in shape. So I started running again and all this other stuff. And I got to the point where I started running 5K. So the point is, back in 2003, I ran the watermelon run. So just to give you an idea of how long it's been going on, 22 years later,
Wow.
they're still doing the watermelon run in Winter Park.
Wow.
So now it was a great time, man. Had a lot of fun. I actually ran the 5K. I wasn't planning on running until I got out there, and I was like, I've been hitting the treadmill. I'm doing.
So you made it across the finish line.
Yeah, I made it across.
Okay.
All right. Listen, I didn't get no awards for it. I didn't get no medals, but I made it across. I ran the whole race with the exception of a quarter of a mile because at 2.25 miles, I said, I know it's going to be some people at the finish line, so I got to have the knees high. I got to have the form together. So let me take a little.
You need that Craig James form.
Yeah. Let me walk a quarter mile, get myself together. You know what I'm saying? I pour a little ice on my head and get myself ready for the crowd. So,
Greg, I'm gonna give it up to you, man, because these old knees can't carry this body like they used to.
you'll be surprised there, dude. You got a crowd around you, man.
I'm gonna walk it. You said you had majority of run, but man, that's good, man. Congratulations, man.
But listen. So also big ups to Advent Health because they, in conjunction with Track Shack, hosted, sponsored, whatever the proper term is, the watermelon run.
Okay.
And it was a great event. As I said, there were 3,000 individuals who participated in the run. Winter Park on Park Avenue was packed full of people that had lots of watermelon around. But I didn't eat the watermelon, right?
You didn't eat the watermelon.
I didn't eat the watermelon. I drank the water with the electrolytes, but I couldn't do the watermelon.
But Greg, you started off, and we got to go ahead, man, and give that full-throated endorsement. Man, when you bring up Advent Health, you just can't bring it up and put a period right behind it because of the kind of work they've been doing in the community.
Yeah.
Man, Greg, I'm going to say this to you, but I don't know if I really mean it. Next year, let me know about the watermelon run, but I can tell you, if I do participate, it's going to be a watermelon walk.
Listen, man, it was a lot of people who walked it. And I mean, listen, it's more so to support healthy living, getting out, being active, moving around and things like that. So, it's no shame in walking it. I just have this thing inside of me that when I see people running, I just got a thing where I got to run too. So I don't know if that's
so it motivated you.
Yeah, well, you call it motivation,
Rick, I got to do this plug because we're on this health and fitness kick, and I know this is going to surprise you in left field.
Yep.
But you showed me something during the pre-show that, man, I was so impressed with. Man, your wife is doing educational health, wellness, nutrition, education information, man. Tell me a little bit about that.
She's been doing like a blog for about a good 2-3 months. I've been trying to tell her to take the training wheels off and go full hog with this thing. But she does some posts. I don't know where. I think it's and then she does something else with another young lady called the Two Dietitians or something. But listen, man, it's like with everything else. There's always a fear factor of getting started. But once you get started, that's the best thing to do. So I'm telling them, take the training wheels off, go full force, because when people hear the information, they enjoy it.
Well, we got to help.
Beneficial and helpful information.
We got to help with taking those training wheels off. And I know our executive producer talked about that earlier, and he mentioned that he saw some of the, what do you call them, blogs?
Okay. Yeah, blogs. Yeah. Video. Remember, like how people used to blog?
Yeah.
So now the blogs are the video blogs.
See, I'm okay. I guess I'm still old school, but I know our executive producer was talking about that earlier, and I don't know if he has a segment that he can get prepared so we can put it, because the one that you were showing me, man, was talking about diabetes, I think.
Yeah. Well, so full disclosure, in addition to being a registered dietitian, licensed nutritionist, or whatever, I don't know what the thing is, she's also a certified diabetes educator.
Okay.
And so for a number of years, she has held classes and helped individuals who are dealing with diabetes. Now, the good thing is that she does those things. The bad part about it is she brings these little prickly things to the house and want to poke my finger and try to make me have diabetes, which I don't have, by the way. She want to try to convince me that I need to be doing. Listen, I don't have diabetes, but I'm glad I have somebody in the house that if I did have diabetes, they'll help me out. But stop trying to make me have diabetes, dear, because I don't have diabetes.
I tell you what, man. One of the things, and I look forward to your wife engaging a little bit more about this, because Greg, I'm curious, and I know you may not be able to answer this, but what I'm curious about is the pre-diabetes aspect, to where you don't have diabetes,
right?
But
the precursors
to it. Yeah. I want to become more educated about that. And one of the other things that we'll be talking about more as we get further on, not on this show, but Florida Economic Consortium is launching its Life in the Balance, and it's dealing with diabetes, hypertension, and high blood pressure. And so it's going to be a lot of education. It's going to be a lot of networking with organizations that are going to be appearing at workshops at FEC.
I got Sister Jackson queued up if y'all want.
Come on, Greg, you make the introduction. You go ahead.
And now, with no further ado, the dietitian, Ms. Bynum Toby Jackson. How's that?
All right, I want to pop in and talk a little bit about first phase insulin. People with diabetes lack what we call first phase insulin. What is that? Okay, your body's first responder to sugar. So when you eat food, your pancreas sends out a quick burst of insulin to keep your sugar from going up or rising too fast. This is called first phase insulin response. Emergency! Okay, too many ultra-processed foods or meals high in sugar causes the body to get overwhelmed, and that first phase responder, insulin responder, starts to fail. That's emergency. All right, so what's to the rescue? Whole foods like your fiber-rich veggies, heart-healthy fats, lean protein, and definitely those guys come as a team. They pack a mean punch and they slow down the rate at which that sugar hits the bloodstream. What could you do other than eat high fiber foods and low glycemic index, the healthy ones? Sequencing your meals. What do I mean by that? Eat in order. Eat your non-starchy veggies first. That's your broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, peppers, all of those, spinach. Throw them in there. Protein second. Keep it lean, not too much though. And then make sure you eat your heart-healthy fat. Your seeds, avocado, heart-healthy oils like olive oil. When you think about that, those are all heart-healthy, but keep them small, yes. And then carbohydrates should be last to be seated at that dinner table. Yes, those heavyweight carbs. Keep them healthy. So that's it for me for the fourth. Eat smart, protect your insulin response, feel better, live better, and just be better. All right, guys, have a great day. Enjoy your holiday. Bye-bye.
Man, that was a great job.
Hi,
That was
everybody. All right, I
excellent.
wanted to pop in and talk a little bit about.
That was excellent, man.
Yeah,
Hey Doc,
yeah.
make sure you give a thumbs up with Let's Talk Nation to that page, man.
So yeah, like I said, man, take the training wheels off, man. There's some great content. It's stuff that can help people, especially individuals, because there is a larger population of Americans, and not just African Americans, but Americans in general, or individuals in general, who are dealing with diabetes. And this is, great, outstanding information that they can have and that they can use to eat smarter and to live healthy.
Greg, when I was watching that, it brought back memories of, how your parents used to tell you to eat your vegetables. Eat your vegetables. It matters a whole lot more now than ever before.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially with how processed foods are now. And I was watching something, and Doc can probably attest to this. When you go to other places in the world, they don't use the same chemicals and dyes and things that we use here in our foods here in the United States. So listen, I love the United States. I was born here. I'm never going to leave here to live anywhere else. But I will tell you, we do have an issue with how our foods are processed here in the United States. When we went to France, and Doc, that's why I said you may tap in on this too. But when we went to France, the fact that they were using natural dyes from food, I should say natural dyes, but natural colors from food, as opposed to dyes to color their food, made a difference in the taste and how your body responds to it.
And the chemicals.
To it. Doc, am I lying?
Doc, we can't hear you.
Yeah, Fanta, orange drink, and guess what they color it with? Carrot.
Yeah, I was about to say, probably the carrots or something like that. Yeah,
That's what they use it for. So, but I wanted to encourage Sister Jackson. Listen, sis, micro learning, what you just did, that little 5 minutes or less lessons, is projected to be a $260 billion industry over the next 10 years. And that answers the question right there, the brother love too. That's where folks are going.
Yeah,
you're right.
So think about this. If you have 1,000 followers and you charging them $47 a month for your app and to watch your little videos, right there, that's $47,000 a month.
That's the first one I saw, Doc. And one of the things that stuck out to me is I love the way she broke it down. And I want to learn more when she talked about the pancreas and what it excretes and the insulin. When we talk about insulin, most of the time, we're talking about the man-made insulin that people have to take. But if I saw that video and observed it correctly, she's talking about the insulin that's excreted from your.
Yeah, you can regulate your insulin levels with the foods.
Yeah.
So
and I'm a diabetic, but I manage mine through diet. And you keep it, you monitor it and stuff, and watch what you eat. It's the sugars like bread, rice, and all of that I have to watch out.
Hey, well, there you have it, Greg. You was talking about taking the training wheels off.
Listen, I'm a fan of taking off the training wheels and getting moving on stuff that you need to do. Man.
I think they're off now, brother.
It's so many good platforms out there. You can I got a platform where you basically talk to it. It will edit. It will auto edit everything. And if you go,
it takes it out.
It'll take it out.
Well, like you said, I think the training wheels are off now. Hey, and I apologize for shifting gears, but Greg, this is something that we all, the Let's Talk Nation team, wanted to extend our thoughts and prayers to families regarding the flooding that took place in Texas. You got any updates on?
Yeah, listen. So for folks who may not have heard, just this past 4th of July, there was some significant rains, and we all got a lot of rains, but there was some very significant rains in the state of Texas, and unfortunately, those rains led to several months worth of rain being dumped in a certain area. I believe specifically Kerr County in Texas. And it happened around the Riverside camp where there were some young ladies who were a part of a Christian camp who were camping in, as well as the community around. And in a matter of 45 minutes in this rain, the Guadalupe Lake or Guadalupe River actually swelled 26 feet.
Wow.
And in swelling 26 feet, it went over the banks. And it actually caused a flash flood to happen in this community, this unfortunate community, and around this Christian camp. And as of today, I think the numbers that we've seen is 81, but I've heard that number is now closer to, if not over, 90 individuals who have been killed as a result of this flash flood. Young people, old people, communities have been affected. In addition to that, 40 plus people are still missing from this flash flood that occurred. And so, our thoughts and prayers, Brother Love, what you're saying, our thoughts and prayers go out to the people in the state of Texas, specifically in the area around Kerr County, where a number of individuals have not only lost their property, but they've lost loved ones and lost their lives because of this unfortunate flash flood that no one really and truly saw coming.
Yeah, and Greg, I have to say, we have a champion in the state of Florida. He's been a champion of children's education for decades, and I'm talking about David Lawrence, based out of Miami.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's with a heavy heart that he confirmed, unfortunately, this past Sunday, that his twin granddaughters that live in Texas, unfortunately,
Are you serious?
Died as a result.
Oh man, yeah. It's just one of those things. People want to look at and see who do we blame for this and different things like that. Unfortunately, this was just one of those unfortunate incidences, an act of God, a flash flooding that no one could predict. We've seen the rain. We had rain here, but no one could have predicted that in a matter of 45 minutes,
26
that this river would have swelled 26 feet, 8 meters, 26 feet, and caused this level of destruction. And so more so than, right now, and I know it's hard, it's easy for us to say, let's move away from blame, let's look to prayer. But at this time, let's lift up those individuals in those communities, those families who are suffering this loss of family, friends, whatever the case may be, and lift them up in prayer.
You're right. And Greg, one of the things I want to mention is, unfortunately, man, when you see tragedies like this take place, you also see how communities around the country mobilize to be supportive. And on Monday, today, as a matter of fact, 6 first responders from Central Florida, small Swiftwater rescue team, left to go to Texas to be supportive.
Very nice.
In this the rescue and recovery mission.
Yeah. So there are probably going to be opportunities for us to rally around our brothers and sisters in Texas who have suffered this loss. I hope that there are not going to be any scammers out there, but if you get an opportunity to support, not just through prayer, but through finances. I know that I understand that President Trump is supposed to be in Texas later on this week. I understand that resources obviously are going to be provided through the federal government and also through the state of Texas. But if there's an opportunity to help someone else in a time of need, whether it's by helping to contribute to a care package or whatever the case may be, don't hesitate to do so.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. Absolutely. Hey, so Greg, something that we've been seeing a flashback of.
Oh,
and I tell you, man, 1 minute you think it's calming down, and the next minute
the love affair is over.
The love affair is over, and I'm talking about none other than what, Greg?
Talking about Donald Trump and Elon Musk, brother.
Greg, it continues to flare up.
Well, it stems around, the creation of Doge is what it stems around, and the creation of Doge. Elon Musk did a good job. I'm not going to take away from anything, but he did a very good job of identifying areas of fraud, abuse, overspending, and things within the federal government. He indicated that there would be approximately $2 trillion in savings from the creation of DOGE, an organization or an agency that he oversaw for approximately 18 months. But really, truly, what it really showed is that there was about $500 million in overspending and things like that, which is significant, still significant. So with Donald Trump, after he and Elon Musk fell out the first time, when Elon Musk exited Doge, I think a week or two early, I don't know how much earlier it was, but they fell out. Elon Musk realized the wrong of his ways or whatever the case.
He apologized, right?
He apologized. But Trump has been saying since he was elected that he was going to pass this big, beautiful bill. And as a part of this big, beautiful bill, there was going to be some changes to the way the government spends money, and different allocations would be removed, or however the case may be. And Elon Musk, I guess, in not having the spotlight on him as the reason for this new change in how monies are spent in the government, but rather the attention going to Donald Trump, which is where it typically should go, is to the commander-in-chief. Elon Musk basically decided he was going to throw a temper tantrum. And as a part of that temper tantrum, he was saying that, that the big, beautiful bill, that anyone in Congress who voted for the big, beautiful bill, that he was going to primary them, basically put money towards anyone who ran against them in their primary elections. And also that he is going to start his own political party, a third party, which is America.
So Greg, let me ask you this, because you started and opened up with something I thought was rather interesting, that it started with Doge.
Yes.
So
that's where the love affair started.
That's
where it started. They loved each other.
So Greg, let me ask you this, because it is quite interesting, and I mean, you just mentioned it and you kind of laid it out perfectly, that the big, beautiful bill Elon Musk has been opposed to. So with that being the case, am I hearing that there's a direct conflict between Doge and the big, beautiful bill now? Because as you mentioned, Elon Musk says he's going to primary anybody who votes for that.
The only conflict between the big, beautiful bill and Doge that I see is that Elon Musk does not have his hand in.
Okay.
That is the only thing that I see, because the bill, and listen, I know that people are, making all types of comments about the big, beautiful bill, because it is a bill that Donald Trump basically said was going to be ready and signed by the 4th of July, or on the 4th of July, and it was done. So people are like, oh, all of these bad things in the bill. Do me a favor. Do me a real quick.
Go read it.
Go read it, or go and watch videos on what the bill, the good and the bad about the bill. Obviously it's not something in there for everybody that everyone is going to like. But there's something in there that will benefit most, or not, if not all, Americans.
Greg, if you don't mind, I want to kind of slow us down just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
One of the items, man, that and I will say, I'm one of the individuals that would love, and it doesn't matter what your party affiliation, because this is what has communities wondering about what is in the 900-page big, beautiful bill. And one of the things that sticks out to everybody is the Medicaid aspect of it.
Yeah.
And one of the things, man, that people are fearful of is the ones that need it in particular is the Medicaid benefits.
Right.
But then on the other hand, I saw Minority Speaker Jeffries, that testified, Greg, a few days ago, that there's not been one dime of Medicaid funding that has, because one of the issues is the Medicaid funding going to individuals that are undocumented in the country.
Right. Yeah.
And so,
or individuals who are no longer with us. They found that there were a number of checks that were going out to people who were no longer living.
But one of the things that was said that really surprised by the Minority Speaker was that no dime has been spent on undocumented immigrants as it relates to Medicaid money. And I just find that hard to believe that he would make that statement.
I don't think that's completely accurate.
No,
that no monies have not been
correct.
spent.
And so, Greg, I'm watching this, and I'm leaning in, because I'm saying, has this video been doctored? Would he sit there in front of Congress and make that statement? And Greg, I've seen it on different, you know how we do.
Yeah.
We go and try to make sure we can validate. And Greg, he said it.
He did say it. But listen, he as a Democrat, this is one thing that I realized, that the Democrats are flailing right now. And we are trying to find anything that we could hold the candle to keep the light on, or keep the lights on in the building, to keep our positions relevant.
Mhm.
And, you know, one of the big things is that there's a lot of money, or a lot of fraud and abuse with regards to individuals receiving benefits that should not have received benefits, not just individuals who are no longer with us, i.e. dead people, but individuals who are in this country illegally. And so to take the focus away from that, because a large part of the bill also addresses sanctuary cities and individuals who are not here legally, and removing funding for those individuals, and however it works, all right? But in order to attack the bill, what do you have to say? Well, he's doing this,
Yeah,
and no one
yeah.
in that category, no one who is undocumented fits in that category, because it's not happening. But it is happening, and that's the unfortunate thing. But he has to say that. There are a lot of things that Democrats have said in the past that are not true, and they know that they weren't true. I.e., Joe Biden is the most cognizant that he's ever been. I.e., Kamala Harris is the person that is able to lead this country in these hard times we have. The Democrats say things that they really truly don't.
And Greg, here's one of the things, man, and I will say this over and over again. It's not that people aren't compassionate, but one of the things that's rising to the top than ever before, and you see it in particular in Chicago more than ever,
Yeah.
where you see
Well,
more.
44 people were shot this weekend, but that's the side note.
Yeah, but what you do see is people saying generosity starts at home.
Yeah.
There's a great need for individuals. I mean, you got homeless vets. There's a great need for generosity to start at home. And it's almost as if people are being vilified for saying it.
But listen, but it's true. It is true. And that's where the Democratic Party lost touch with the everyday American, is when they said that we as Democrats wanted to give monies to everybody,
Mhm.
that we wanted to welcome everyone, no matter if they were documented or undocumented, when even individuals who come from Latin American countries have said there has to be a process for people to come into this country. There has to be a process.
I don't know, Greg, and you can correct me if you want to, brother. But I've been, watching the different talking heads, and you know what's taking place in Philadelphia right now, right? The strike with predominantly with waste management, where you see, and so it's so interesting that you see individuals saying that the city of Philadelphia knew that it was running out of money, but yet still it continued to be the city of brotherly love and show generosity outward versus inward. And Greg, you got trash that is stacking up that 6 feet high now.
Yeah, but listen, why don't those new residents who want to so much be a part of the United States help to clean it up? I mean, problem solved. I mean, listen, if they do that, then I'll say, listen, put them, let's fast track them. If they really truly care about this country and they're in a community where these things are happening, help to clean it up.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. But here's the other thing too. I mean, we spend a lot of time on it. We talk a lot about the big beautiful bill and what it does for Medicare and Medicaid, which it is going to address certain abuse in that system.
Mm-hmm.
And we've known that the coffers of Medicare have they've been threatened to be robbed, and that there was some shenanigans going on anyways. But the other part of the bill that people should love, particularly individuals in the service industry, is the fact that tips are not going to be taxed. The other part is that overtime is not going to be taxed. I mean, there are some good things for hardworking Americans who work in the service industry or who are working to, on hourly wage jobs that this bill is going to help and be beneficial to us. And also tax cuts are also going to be extended. And I'm going to tell you, back when Trump first won the election, when I was working as a defense attorney and I had to watch every check that came in, I remember when Trump became president, I literally would see $400 extra per month in my paycheck. That affected me. Like I said, when I had to watch.
It hit you, yeah.
Now I don't look at it that much now, but yeah, back then I was like, wow, these tax cuts are working.
And you know what? And I love what my father-in-law often says, man, is that he's blinded to what party he's more interested in. How is it going to impact and affect him and his family directly? But Greg, one other thing we need to follow up with, because we were given these updates several months ago, and there was one other item, man, in that proposed bill that talked about buying American-made cars, getting a tax break, and being able to claim that. So I mean, we just need to continue to follow up and educate. But what would be great is if we are able to get congressional members to come and articulate what's in that bill.
I mean, listen, we have a couple that are right here in our community. One of which is Mr. Frost. He's in this area. I mean, we will welcome him to come in and sit down and talk about the things that are going to hurt everyday Americans. That would be great to hear from someone who actually serves on the Hill. We also have Daniel Webster, who is in this area, not necessarily here. He's more so in the Lake County,
Seminole Lake
County area. I mean, listen, and one a Democrat, one a Republican. I mean, it would be great to hear from individuals on the Hill how exactly that bill affects us as everyday Americans, especially in the House of Representatives who represent the people as opposed to the Senate. And I don't know if people remember on Let's Talk Nation, we talked about the difference between senators and representatives. So.
You're absolutely right.
And there's a reason why the Speaker of the House is the third in succession.
You're right. You're right. Hey, Greg, moving forward, Greg, the DOJ and FBI, what's the update on the Epstein?
Some people, listen, a lot of people are upset by this. And a lot of people are upset with the Trump administration about this because they feel that the conspiracy and the fix is in. Because, I do remember this, that Pam Bondi, when I was with the Attorney General's office, she was the Attorney General for the state of Florida. But Pam Bondi said that there was the Epstein files on her desk and she was going through those along with the JFK files and the MLK files and different things like that, and that she had seen a list. But now, the DOJ today, after Elon Musk has said, remember, Elon Musk said this, that Trump's name is on this Epstein list, but the DOJ has now come out and said that there is no infamous Epstein list with Donald Trump's name on it. And not only that, there is no indication that he was, that the fix was in and he was trying to bribe high-level officials and celebrities and different things like that. And so people are saying, well, wait a minute, if Pam Bondi said there was a list, how are you now saying that there's not a list? And oh, by the way, we think that he was working with the M16 and and Mossad, and that he was a double agent and doing all of this. And Alex Jones was on his podcast crying crocodile tears because he's saying that the Trump administration, the DOJ administration of the Trump, is hiding information from the American people about the Epstein file.
But there's one thing that we left out of this conversation when we talk about the rift between Elon Musk and President Trump. There's one other thing that we left out.
What's that?
That allegedly that there's an issue because what is it called, Greg? The EV subsidy is
in danger.
I thought it was cut out. I mean, it's in danger. You're right because the bill was passed in the House. Then the Senate subsequent. Can you tell people how the Senate passed it? Because
I can tell you because
well, it was a 50-50. What takes place?
When it's a 50-50 vote, then the Vice President of the United States then comes in and has to break the tie.
Correct.
And that's what happened because there were two Republican defections. It was three.
It was three.
Yeah. Okay.
It was three.
Yeah.
It was great. Here's the part I don't understand, and so the House passed.
It was two on the House side. It was two Republican defectors on the House side.
Okay, but the House passed it originally.
Yeah, but then on the Senate side, there were three.
There were three that defected, and then the Vice President had to come in and break the tie.
Yeah.
So, Greg, I guess the part that I want to learn to understand is why does it go back to the House now? I don't know. What is it? Is it to?
Because it's DC? I don't know.
Because
they got to finalize it now. Because remember, the House of Representatives represents the people. And so the final say is coming from the representatives of the
But they did some adjustments because I do remember some of the adjustments changed the balance. I think Medicaid went from 700 to 900. So then it has, I guess, to be reconciled, go back to the House to be reconciled. But then now that it's going back to the House, you got members in the House that's, saying, hey, we don't know.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, for people, if you haven't read the tea leaves just yet, this Congress is fully on board for the most part with what the White House is doing.
You're right. So last but not least, in the last footnote, is Elon Musk losing it, man?
He is losing it. So, I mean, Elon Musk, listen, Elon Musk is a smart guy, probably one of the smartest people on planet Earth. This is the guy that flies in and out of space
On a regular basis.
On a regular basis. I mean, just this morning, I think they said that there was a Starline, whatever. This is the guy that went up and saved 2 astronauts in space when they were left, when they were stranded in space. This is the guy who has taken the electric vehicle industry and has made it accessible to virtually everyone. And so he thinks a lot of himself, and he should. So much so that he now thinks that he can lead a third party, political party in these United States. And I think that Elon Musk, he wants so much to be in control, Brother Love. And I think that Donald Trump gave him an in and the opportunity to be effective, that he really truly thinks that he can influence the American electorate. And he might be able to.
Who is the most famous person who stepped forward with their resources it might have been 2, maybe 3 decades ago, with instituting and running as a third party?
I mean, Ross Perot was one. Yeah.
Well, you good. You good. It was Ross Perot.
Yeah.
And how many times wealthier, because I'm not going to say rich, wealthier is Musk than, I guess it's all relative.
So at the time, so it's all relative, but at the time, and I remember this because when Ross Perot ran, I know he was a billionaire, and I want to say that he had $4 billion, that he was worth $4 billion. The only reason why I remember that is because at the time, in the world, there were 4 billion people, and then I thought to myself, he has enough money to give everybody $1. So Ross Perot in 1980 something economy, $4 billion would probably equate to, let's just do some quick Greg Jackson math. Let's say $4 billion then would probably equate to $25 to $30 billion today.
Okay.
That still is a drop in the bucket compared to what
300+ million
is worth at this juncture.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I mean,
Well, Greg, here's a change of gears for you.
A little change in gears.
The P. Diddy trial.
So for those who have been loosely following or who have rushed home as I did and wanted to see every single day what was happening with the P. Diddy trial, you know that last week the jury came back with the verdict, and it was a very interesting verdict, Brother Love. He was brought up on 5 different charges, the most serious of which was racketeering, then the other was conspiracy for racketeering, the other was sex trafficking, and then the other was traveling for the purposes of prostitution. And so for the 3 more serious charges, he was found to be not guilty, but he was convicted of a felony for traveling for the purposes of prostitution. And so, with that verdict, you had people dancing in the streets and pouring, what they call that stuff? Baby oil on each other. I mean, you would have thought, literally, go watch the videos. I mean, you would have thought that, that P. Diddy was found not guilty of everything. Well, the judge didn't forget, because after the jury came back with the verdict, there was an immediate request for his release. The judge took it into consideration.
Did he really take it into consideration?
He read the letters. He did his due diligence, and he came back and said that at this time that Sean P. Diddy Combs, who has been convicted by the jury, would not be released.
Let me ask you this before you go further. Do you believe that Diddy's celebrity has hurt him more with this case? Because if you look across the board, based on the charges that he was found guilty on, Greg, it appears that it's overwhelming that his celebrity status, a lot of stuff that came out, that it's going to hurt him more than if he was regular Joe citizen.
So listen, let's look at Woody Allen. He hadn't been hurt. Let's look at Roman Polanski. He's still making movies. He's moved to France, but I mean, he really hasn't been hurt.
But then think about the guy who, what is the guy who's in prison now?
R. Kelly.
No. He was a movie producer.
Oh, Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. Is it Harvey?
Yeah, Harvey. Yeah.
I mean, so has his brand been affected? Yes. We can't. We'd be foolish to sit here and say that his brand has not been affected. Has his wealth been affected? He's going to have to pay some lawyers some pretty good money because they have kept him out of prison for the remainder of his life. But in terms of his wealth and his potential influence, I don't think that those things have been hurt nearly as bad as people think. I'm not saying it hasn't been affected at all, but not nearly as bad as people think. He's still, one of the pioneers of hip hop. He's still one of the most powerful individuals in the industry, music and entertainment industry,
and an entrepreneur. Greg, I mean, that Revolt TV he was the principal.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what is it, the Ciroc.
Ciroc, the vodka.
And see what people some misinformation is people think he was a producer of Ciroc. No, he was the brand ambassador for which actually helped Ciroc grow.
Yeah.
And so you have that, but some of my buddies, Greg, were, they were in a group chat and one of them said that, do you think this guy will ever recover from this after he gets up? But you know what? I didn't use the word recover.
What you say?
Greg, think about the people who have fallen down before. His biggest tribute is going to be that he redeems himself. And the way I think he redeems himself is you pour into people. I think that's going to be the biggest element of his redemption is what is he doing with entrepreneurs? What is he doing as it relates to being a sponsor or supporter of domestic violence victims? Because that video that we saw in the hotel, you don't recover from that kind of stuff. You get redeemed from that kind of stuff.
But that ain't gonna change. Listen, let me tell you something. If you think that Sean Puff Daddy Combs is not going to have another freak off in his life, you are sorely mistaken. If that's what you think, what he's going to do is he's going to be much more selective and much more quiet about what he does and how he goes about doing his thing.
Man,
that's what's going to happen.
I think
we never would have known about Cassie Ventura if this videotape never came out. And remember, even when the videotape came out, he didn't become some big proponent for fighting and going against domestic violence.
Well, he couldn't though. He couldn't. Now, come on.
He should have though.
He should have.
But that would have been.
Should have done. He did a video saying that he regretted it, but I think if he'd have done that, that would have been more of the acknowledgement of all the other things that he was being accused of.
Man, what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis?
I'm telling you, man.
If he would have done that, it would have smoothed the way.
You think
a
so?
Bit more. Yeah, of course. Because what did he do instead? Instead, he entered into a settlement with her within a day of her filing a civil lawsuit against him for $2 million. That makes you look more guilty than anything.
Okay,
else.
And to your point, that was one of the
and
quickest.
It encouraged how many other people to come forward.
And you stealing my thunder.
But if you come in and you say, hey, listen,
you stealing my thunder on that.
This was 2016, and I'm not saying that what I did in 2016 was right and that you should ignore it. But what I did and what you saw is not the person I am today. No one should ever put someone and victimize someone in that manner, and I do not stand for that, and I'm not that person here today.
I agree with you.
But he did.
But great, this guy, has the resources where he had the machine behind him. When you say he's going to be paying these attorneys a king's ransom, yes, he is, because
and they've earned it.
You're right.
They have earned it. Yeah. Listen, if anybody deserves $700 an hour or $1,000 an hour, they kept this man out of prison.
And you know what, Greg? The opposition attorneys across the table, the prosecutors, everybody was what you might call AAA.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy could have actually went to prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah, easily. So, but I mean, listen. So, but we gotta remember this is not going to be the last that we see of Sean Puff Daddy Combs. It's how he comes back.
It's how he comes back.
He's coming back, but it's how he comes back.
I keep using the word redemption.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see it. Greg, man, I'm real interested in about some of the biblical proportions.
So, Brother Love, you and Doc Polite. So I've known Doc Polite probably 6 months longer than I've known you. And I don't think that you all have ever heard me speak this way. But I attended the Apopka City Council meeting on last Wednesday, Brother Love. And what I saw at the Apopka City Council meeting was a miracle of biblical proportions, Brother Love. Because as in the Bible, Brother Love, I heard a jackass speak. I heard a jackass go to the podium. And I know my parents ain't never heard me talk like this, but I'm talking biblical. This is not Greg. This is the Bible talking. I saw and I witnessed a jackass go to the podium and call my friend a hustler and say that because my friend is trying to help little black boys that he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't get money to help young black boys. Then I heard a jackass say that if Brian Nelson had a program like this, that Brian Nelson would turn out to be a better person than what he is today. But then I heard the jackass say something, Brother Love, that was even more amazing to me because I didn't know that jackasses watch and listen to our podcast. Because not only did he acknowledge, and I know he's watching now, but look, I'm not going to put a name to this jackass because he knows he's a jackass. But this jackass said, and it's funny because I don't use words like this. It's funny to me. It's like you never heard me talking this. But let me finish. I'll say, no, let me finish. Then I heard the jackass.
Hey, you sound like me up there.
I got to finish. Then I heard the jackass give the exact day and the exact time that Let's Talk Nation is on the air. Every Monday, they are on that bootleg show. And that tells me, Brother Love, that not only can jackasses talk, but jackasses can advertise. And I want to say I appreciate that jackass for going up to the podium and showing everyone his full potential of being an idiot that he is.
Man.
And listen, if he wants to come at me, I'm good with it.
You good with it, Greg?
He came at you. He tried to come at me on the slide, but whatever.
Well,
if he wants to come at me, I'm good with it. However, I'm not like you.
But I guess I ain't the first time.
Listen, I'm from Thailand. I move different. You know what I'm saying? I talk different. I'm not as diplomatic as people want me to be when I need to be. And Dr. Light, y'all saw this when somebody got into the DMs and they wanted to talk slick. Y'all told me, Greg, don't mess with him. What I had to do, I had to have a conversation with him.
You went at him.
Listen, if a jackass wants to talk about Greg Jackson, we good. However you want to do it. So, but yeah, brother, love it. Of biblical proportions, Greg Jackson.
So this person turned into this person was like Balaam's donkey, huh?
Like what you say, Doc?
He's like Balaam's donkey.
He's talking biblical.
You know, in the book of Numbers, Balaam, prophet, is on his donkey and he's going somewhere where he wasn't supposed to go. And long story short, he was going and the angel of the Lord stood in the roadway. The donkey saw him, but Balaam couldn't see him. So the donkey turned back. Balaam started beating the donkey, and the donkey started talking, "Why are you beating me? I'm your faithful donkey." So, jackasses just don't talk.
But you know what really gets me, man, is I went and presented and I got to tell you, I saw and witnessed Matthew's Hope that went and presented maybe a month in advance, and they wanted to create a no-cost partnership with the city of Apopka. Basically, what they were saying is, we're here to help. We're not asking you for any money.
Right.
And they went through a process, and the following council meeting, there was a vote, and it was accepted. It was codified. So I said, man, that was great. I was motivated. I was moved by what they did because they're going into the community to partner and help. So, Greg, what do?
You want to help too.
I go and I do the same thing, and mine is specific to third grade reading levels. There's research that says, based on third grade reading levels, if you're not reading at level by third grade, the trajectory in life goes down.
That's right.
And I pulled the data directly from the Department of Education. I got with Orange County Public Schools, and I said, I want to see this data so I can validate. We got the data. And I went and I presented a 10-minute presentation turned into a 45-minute full frontal assault.
Mm-hmm.
But what really surprised me, Greg, and I got to tell you this, I don't listen to the noise because it's about the mission.
Right.
But what got me was you had two commissioners on the dais that didn't understand it and specifically continue to say, why doesn't Orange County, this is the problem for Orange County Public Schools. Why don't they take care of it? And continue to ask me the same question over and over again to the point, Greg, it's hard for me, man, because children need all the help that they can get.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw last month or so, Orange County Public Schools took a almost $30 million budget reduction because two reasons. One, the birth rate has gone down in Orange County and you don't have as many kids enrolling.
Right.
And two, you got more parents that are putting their kids in charter and private schools because they want a better education.
Yeah.
And so one of the commissioners asked me, why isn't Orange County doing? And I said to him, you haven't seen they got a $30 million. So it just, man, I'm just amazed that when you see individuals, just like we're looking here, Greg, with the tragedy that took place in Texas.
Yeah.
People are coming together to do something about it.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. You're right. I'm more diplomatic. I ignore the noise, but like what is it? The title for your show? You got time today?
Got time today.
It amazes me,
Yeah.
man.
But here's the thing too, though. I mean, even in a more simplistic view of helping the school system, I mean, how many times have we, had teachers to come to us and say, "Hey, we need people to donate in the community because we don't have the funds for paper towels,
Yeah,
for pencils,
you're
for
right.
crayons."
You're right.
And people come together because the district does not have the budget to provide certain needs. And this is the same type of thing. If the district does not have the budget or the resources to provide certain programs to help young kids out, what's the problem with an organization or even an individual providing those resources?
But Greg, what we witness is a community issue. I got to take my hat off to Mayor Nelson, Commissioner Anderson, and Commissioner Smith. They are stepping up and they're championing these issues. Is it, Greg, am I missing it? Is it just politics that
It is politics. It's politics. Yeah. So yeah, don't be confused. It's politics.
It's politics.
Now, I will say this though, a gentleman I haven't seen in a little bit of time, and it's unfortunate because I like this young man. He did get up and he spoke, and I thought that he was, very, very diplomatic and handled himself very well at the podium about issues that he's concerned with, and I it's it's that type of delivery of a message that resonates with people more than the attacks.
Yeah, the hate.
The hate, and that's Sylvester Hall, and he was there, and he got up and he spoke, and I remember what he said about, let's look at certain things in the community and how do we fix these things, how do we come together, and it was more of a question as opposed to an attack, and to come off and immediately just start name calling, someone who's trying to do things in the community. This is what I challenge people to do. If you have a problem with something, why don't you come up with your own program?
You're right.
Why don't you come up with an idea that is beneficial and helpful as opposed to always trying to tear down what someone else is doing? If you don't like Let's Talk Nation, I wonder why it is that you don't have your own podcast. Why is it that you have to go and look at other people's podcasts to try to tear it down, or look at what other people are doing to try to tear it down? Because obviously you cannot do it yourself. You don't have the voice, the influence, the wherewithal to do the things that you're criticizing others for trying to do. And that's the unfortunate thing that I don't like.
At the end of the day, Greg, again, man, I say it's about the mission. It's about outcomes. It's about getting the results. But, hey, man, they can have that. Since we're on the topic, Greg, man, and I hate to go quickly to this area, but we're talking about leadership. We're talking about Central Florida politics.
So listen, before we get to Central Florida politics, we've always talked about, building the bench and different things like that. And on yesterday, one thing that we talked about in helping young men to project better images and different things like that, I did like a little service project type thing. And I actually was out taking headshots of young men so that they could have more professional appearances on social media and for, different things they're doing. And so, listen, I think that we should expand that. We talked about doing it again. And we talked about doing it because that's where I got the idea from, was from you, where someone was saying, hey, I need some headshots. So I volunteered myself to do it. And it actually came out pretty well. I was able to get them everything they needed, but it's going to be young men who now have, more professional views on their Instagram, their, what's the other one? LinkedIn pages. And there's one other one that they could use these photos on to just kind of help project the better image. So.
And Greg, here's one for you. And I don't know, I like Dr. Nelson when he says it's not this or that, it's this and that.
Yeah.
Greg, it'd be great, man, if we could, I don't know, man. Let's see if we could tag team maybe with the fraternities or the churches to get these young men in. And Greg, how long does it take you to get a good headshot so we can kind of project? How many can you do in an hour?
I mean, listen. I mean, if people are coming in, they have everything that they need. There's no messing around. I mean, I can get 5 minutes per person.
What do you recommend, Greg? So when you talk about headshot, is it an upper body or is it just a headshot? Would you recommend they come in with a blazer on, with a shirt and collar? What would you recommend?
So basically 3 views. 3 views. You would do a waist up shot, and then you would do from the floor up shot, and then you would also do like a side quarter shot. So they would have 3 different photographs of themselves.
And we got to do this.
Yeah. And the best way to do it, if you just want to look at something casual, or you can do it with like a nice blazer. And that's where the waist up works, is because you can have the blazer, but then you can take it off and just have just like the shirt with just like a pair of jeans. So it's different ways you can do it.
So let's do something that Doc Polite, he did a great piece on one of the shows where he talked about code switching.
Yeah.
If you ask me, for young men to come in and they're posting on LinkedIn
Mhm.
for jobs. I'm gonna tell you, come in there in your best. Come in there with a blazer on. If you don't have a tie, man, we can have some
Oh yeah,
a variety of ties that we can,
absolutely,
you know.
absolutely.
And when you talk about Instagram and stuff like that, you know that I don't know, Greg. That is come as you are kind of thing, right?
Pretty much, but listen, I mean, you know, like my wife's Instagram page. If you look on there, I did her shots on there.
Okay.
So listen, it's a way to project yourself that I'm dedicated not just to building the bench, but helping to help the bench project to other people before they even open their mouths. So
Got you. Well, Greg, here go the rapid round for you since we're down to 4 minutes, man.
Yes, sir.
Central Florida politics, Orange County,
Orange
the
County.
mayor's race.
So the mayor's race, Brother Love, you have 3 individuals who are currently in this race, and I don't think that there are going to be any more people to jump into this race. I have a gentleman by the name of Chris Messina. Mr. Messina has raised approximately $36,000, but $25,000 of that has come from himself and himself money, which there's no problem with that. I don't want anyone to think that there's a problem with that. Tiffany Moore Russell right now has about $500 from herself. I think that was just her just testing it out, making sure that the money, that she knows how the money hits, because I know that once she turns it on, that she's going to probably raise some good money, being the current clerk of courts, a former commissioner, and then you have Commissioner Uribe, who
Second term commissioner,
who I think is also going to be. She doesn't have anything in the coffers right now, but I'm sure she's going to be able to turn it on when the time comes to put some money in the coffers.
Great. Before you go on, and I know we got a few minutes, but what do you think are going to be some of the top issues in the Orange County mayor's race?
I mean, obviously, one of the top issues is going to be the infrastructure. It's going to be the TDT. How do we use those monies? Dollars? How do we continue to build and to grow under the circumstance that we have right now? I don't think that Orlando or Orange County has the issue of sanctuary cities as much as other communities do. But if there is someone that wins that mayor's seat for Orlando, that may become an issue that Orange County has to address as well.
Quick point to you, man, and I know you caught this. The EDC and the issue that came upon, and that's more of a city issue than anything else. But great, the EDC generates millions of dollars. And one of the things that stuck out to me more than anything else is the EDC makes a donation back to that community that it impacts and affects in the amount of $60,000. Do you know how that money was broken down?
No.
You had homeowners association, Greg, that would get $4,000, $5,000, some $2,000. So my point, and I'll close this out real quickly for you. EDC generates millions of dollars.
Right.
You saw $60,000 go and be divvied up by a multitude of homeowners associations. And Greg, a lot of what you might call fighting for a few $1,000s, Greg, when I think there's a much bigger picture out there from the generation. TDT is generated by tourists.
Right.
But Greg, I think something else needs to be on the way, because I think it's far outgrowing that area. And I believe TDT is needed. I think it creates an industry.
Yeah.
But I also think locals need to be impacted by the weight of what we see with tourism. I'm going to keep pushing you, Greg. District 2.
District 2, right now, you only have one individual who is in that race, Miss Selena Carter. But I am certain that she's going to have company, because this is a seat where there's no incumbent.
You're right.
And typically, when there's no incumbent for any seat in the county,
there's a crowd.
It's going to draw anywhere from 6 to 8 people in that particular race.
District 4.
District 4, you have Mr. Eric Gray and Jermaine Hampton. Don't know a whole lot about those two just yet. But again, this is another.
Greg, who is 4 now?
4 is
I can't remember who 4. But let me plug this real quick. Greg, you realize those seats are going to go from 6 to 8 too. So there's going to be some redistricting taking place.
Yeah. Who is in 4 right now? I used to know it's like the back of my hand.
Man, I can't remember who it is.
Yeah.
But Greg, so we'll be giving some updates.
You know, more on the state and federal level now. I don't really deal with county politics.
Listen, hey, brother, we're going to be giving more updates for these races coming up, man, here in the very near future. So hold on, man, because I think it's going to get a little rocky.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Brother Love.
Hey, Brother Jackson, man, I appreciate you, brother, and I really appreciate your biblical
listen, I was just a witness. I just witnessed that.
Hey, but tell you what, brother, we'll be back here next Monday, and we appreciate all the free advertisement.
Absolutely. Yeah, keep talking.
All the advertisement that we can get, but brother, you don't have to go home.
You got to get out of here.
Hey, until next Monday, tune in to Let's Talk Nation. Ron Love and Greg Jackson. We'll see you then.